Hey everybody, Metal Shop Steve here with number 3 of my 3 promised album reviews here. This is another one. This one came out just a little bit before the other two that I talked about. This one came out, I believe, back in August, but I've been kind of holding on to it, waiting to talk about it for a little bit. This is the new album by Arshenic called Final Collision. Now, I did have a video a little while back that I talked a little bit about this band. And I talked maybe about one or two of the songs because they were out at the time as kind of pre-release single type of a deal. But you know, the whole album is out now, so let's talk about it. For those of you unfamiliar with the band, they are fronted by a woman named Ophelia. They're a Polish band, and they're not screamers really. They're not kind of super fast metal like some of the other bands that I've talked about. They're a nice, really mid-tempo, dark rock band, and that's kind of their groove. Ophelia's voice is by far one of the most amazing voices that I've heard on any kind of a metal album or rock album. It's soaring, it's beautiful, it's very melodic. She sounds to me like somebody who has had vocal training or is incredibly just naturally talented. Great singer. She can sing just about anything. But I'm going to go track by track here, tell you about the songs. I'm going to tell you about my favorite songs, and then maybe wrap up with a couple final thoughts here. So we start out with the song, the title track, Final Collision. And this one, you're always curious to see how an album starts out, and this one almost kind of slinks, slithers into the start of the song. And I think that's the best way I can describe it. You'll have to hear it for yourself to really understand that. But it kind of works its way slowly into the guitars. The guitars kick in. There's a pretty consistent sound throughout the album. Again, it's not thrashy, it's not fast. It's not anybody trying to beat anybody over the head with this. It's just really nice dark rock. They're singing. There's a little bit of growling involved. It's certainly not what Arshenic is doing best, but it's a nice little bit of a change up, a little bit of I'd say texture here and there to balance out this beautiful melodic singing. So Final Collision, great way to start it out. Another one, second song, Dear Remorse. I believe I definitely talked about this song before. It's dark, it sounds very emotional, very pleading, very, again, dark is a great way to describe this album, and I think that's kind of one of the things they go for. It's not dark to the point of being depressing, it's just dark as in very personal and emotional and deep. So that's how I would describe this. So on we go. The next song, Follow. It's a very obsessive sounding song. Again, dark, obsessive. The lyrics are kind of in a very, not menacing, but just very kind of beware type of sound to them. That's followed up by a couple of songs, Rabbit Hole, and then Madness. And again, these are just kind of follows the Arshenic formula where it's got nice guitar. The whole instrumentation works really well. This is a band that just really sounds like they're in the groove. They're all on the same wavelength. They're talented musicians. They're not overdoing anything. They're just they're playing to write a great song and not just to put metal out there in your face. The next song up, Cold. This one has probably, of all the songs on here, some of the most soaring vocals on the whole album. And a really great riff to go with this one too. So I can't lose with that combination, a great guitar riff and soaring, powerful vocals, and that's this song. The next one, Sign. This one is, I have here as a note, another word that I kind of like to use every once in a while. It's ballady. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not a huge ballad label kind of guy, but this is very ballady. This one takes the tempo and the sound down even a little bit more from the rest of the album, which is already kind of dark and brooding and moody. And this one is definitely slow. It's definitely in that quieter range for the album. So that's kind of where you hit the slow point here. And then they finished this album. It's only an 8-song album, so enjoy it while you can. The last song on here, Atari, and this is such a unique song. It's funky. It's got it's definitely different from anything else on the album. It's a really funky rock vibe to it, while still being, of course, dark and a little moody. But if you can call any of the songs on this album upbeat, this would be the one. This one, I believe, is in Polish as well. And, the guitars are funky, the drums are funky, and Ophelia sings with this kind of staccato, rapid fire almost type of singing, which is another departure from what you get on the rest of the album too. A really nice change up, a great way to end the album. And I love when bands try new things and it works. And this works. This is a nice touch, a nice way to finish out the album. Favorite songs here, Final Collision, title track, just because of the way it starts the album. Remember I said it kind of slinks in there. That's really nice. Cold, that's the one with the great riff and the soaring vocals. You knew I was going to pick that one as one of my favorites. And then finally, of course, Atari, just because of the unique sound of this song. So that's the album, Final Collision by Arshenic. And this one I think came out in August, so it's been out for a little while. Certainly not hard to find. You can find it on any of your streaming services or iTunes, or you can go out and buy the hard copy of this as well. I encourage you to get it in some form. It's a great change of pace from just your kind of over-the-top beat you in the head type of rock. Really, really fantastic album. I recommend this one highly too. So please give this a listen. And that's it. That's my third album review. And I'm probably going to have all 3 of these up pretty close together on the site. Love to know what you think about not just this one, but the other 2 as well. Give these bands a listen. Tell me what you think about them. And for now, that's going to be it. And I'll see you later. Thanks for coming by.